Forgive the quick lash up and also the state of the shed, but I've long since wondered about these switches. You can get various types. There's this one here that's come off of a model, and also I've got a few others around. But I'm going to try and have a look and see what they'll pass, because the cables and everything are a little bit weary, and I just think they can't pass the current. So I'm going to have a look and see. Right, for the test I'm going to use a good old 30 odd amp power supply, and I've lashed together some bulbs. Okay, that should give me about 5 amps. They're 12 volt 21 watts, so that'll draw about 5 amps on those. So we're going to see how it goes and see if it works. Right, this is a Savox SC0252MG servo, which I use in my larger planes, and a stall current on this they reckon is about 1.5 amps. That's to totally stall it. It's not a powerful servo, but it's one of the cheapest ones that you can get that's all digital. So if you've got a stalled servo, and you've got a number of them, no chance of stalling it, but you know, depending how fast you're going and what sort of control surfaces you've got, you could have a lot of pressure on that, and of course the pressure that you have on the control surfaces will increase the actual current that the servo draws, and that is a problem sometimes for the thin wiring which you've got, the very inadequate connectors that we use on some of these. Alright for smaller models, but once you start getting a larger models, you start getting a little bit of a problem with these. Right, setup I'm going to do is, as you can see, I've got 3 21 watt bulbs, 12 volt, and I'm going to connect those up there like so. That should be good enough, and we're going to turn the switch off for the time being. Let's have a look, see what happens. Put something on really cold area. So that's going to be the lash up. 30 odd amp power supply. We'll set the voltage on that. I'm going to kick 12 volt through it, see what happens. And then after that I've got the connector, the switch, and then the load, which is the 3 bulbs. We'll see what happens. Whoops. Now, just to give a demonstration, I've got a switch, a normal slider switch here, which is which you can use for charging as well. I quite like this one. And also I've got a load on it, which is 3 21 watt bulbs at 12 volt. So that's roughly giving you about 5 amp loading really. I've only got this being supplied via a power supply, and the power supply is a 30 amp, capable of 30 amp, but what I wanted to do was see what would happen on 5 amps. So I'm drawing 5 amps roughly through this, and the switch seems to be fine. There's no problems at all, so everything's working great. So this switch we know is working well. So what we're going to do is going to have a look at something else, another switch, and see how that performs. Right, so this is the other switch. This was in my Acrowatt XL, which fell out of the sky. No idea why. Good switch, no problems at all. Get me many model shops. So let's see what's going on. Here we go, lights coming on. So everything's hanky-dory. So here we go, we're flying, and we're imposing about a 5 amp load on here. So, you know, with all the servos that you've got jiggling about, there we go. So we're doing okay, no problems at all. Oh dear. Oh dear. So what's happened? What's happened? Oh, hang on a minute. Plane's fallen out of the sky. It comes back on again. Well, that's interesting, isn't it? That is really quite weird, because that's exactly what happened to me. It fell out of the sky. I had no control at all. The engine cut first of all, which was the first indication. Fell out of the sky. When I went to check everything was alright. And I found this. Can you see it just going on and off? and that's because the contacts on this switch are not strong enough, and what's happening is that as they heat up, they're actually coming away from the blade that they slide over, and you're getting this switching scenario where the switch warms up and it cuts. So you're flying, you're flying, you're flying, you're flying, and then after that, all of a sudden you're not flying and it drops out of the sky. You go and pick up the bits, you check it, and it's working. So it cools down, this is of course after it's gone into the ground, and then after that the switch then works. So be wary of slider switches, gentlemen.